any census exercise before the National Register of Citizens is implemented. Now, when the protesters attempted to enter the premises and lock the main gate, police used tear gas to disperse them. One protester suffered minor injuries. The protest then spread across Imphal. Hundreds took part in the torch rallies in Imphal East and Imphal West. A large number of women were also part of the demonstrations. The protesters are demanding that illegal migrants be identified before their numbers are included in official census data. The timing is very significant. The Census 2027 house listing process begins with self-enumeration from August 17th, while the main house listing exercise is scheduled in September. Now, the NRC demand is not new either. The Manipur Assembly had passed resolutions in 2022 urging the centre to implement an NRC and establish a state population commission. Now, in March 2024, the then state government also recommended an NRC with a 1961 cutoff. Those supporting the demand argue that undocumented migration, particularly across Manipur's porous border with Myanmar, has changed the state's demographic balance. They fear that census figures could influence a future delimitation, political representation, and land rights, as well as allocation of resources. But there is another side to this debate. Critics argue that NRC is a citizenship verification exercise, while a census is meant to enumerate people living in a particular area. They warn that conducting an NRC in a deeply polarized state would lead to arbitrary exclusion and further aggravate ethnic tensions. And the issue is particularly sensitive because different communities in Manipur have sharply different positions on the demand. The big question is, should Manipur complete an NRC before Census 2027, or could the sequence itself deepen the state's existing divisions? We have with us Kartikeya Sharma, Managing Editor of News9, PK Mishra, former ADG BSF, Mercy Kongzai, VP Admin So Ukrul, Colonel Retired Shanti Kumar Sapam, spokesperson Methi Heritage Society, T. Michael Lamjathang Haukip, social activist of Manipur. Over to you, Kartikeya.
Thank you so much, Burgess. Please stay with me. Let me straight away go to Mercy first. Mercy, should NRC be done before census?
Well, Kartikeya, so it is very legitimate for the state to maintain accurate population record and address unlawful entry. But here, before I directly answer to your question, I feel that it's important to ask this particular question, that what legal authority exists for making an NRC a prerequisite to the national census, and whether delaying the census would itself create administrative problems. It is also worth considering that it could have a negative impact, particularly on the internally displaced people who are right now living elsewhere. And I feel that before we discuss or go depth or agree or disagree with the particular demand that this section of the people in Manipur are doing, it is worth questioning the questions that I have just raised.
Okay. Mr. Lamjathang Haukip, your opening comments, NRC before census?
Yeah, Kartikeya, absolutely. NRC exercise update is very much essential in Manipur because at this point in time, the main issues of illegal immigration or infiltration from Myanmar and other parts of the state is the core.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Dr. Mishra, can you take this question? I think there's a bit of a problem with this line. Do you think that this is a feasible demand?
Yes, Kartikeyan, I have just seen the ground condition because mostly in Imphal East and Imphal West, people have gone to the road, Masal Rally and Torch Rally, they are continuing. And we had also putting civil society groups. They had a meeting also at Delhi on this aspect. And I will let you know why NRC is a must now in Imphal, or not only in Imphal, in Manipur. It's because, you see, it's the influx of outsiders. Definitely, they threaten indigenous land rights in Manipur. And I will tell you, Kartikeyan, if you go to Kangla Thampi, you go to Fedol, you go to Sisipur, you go to Chandal, you go to Tignopal, we have so many villages, so many villages. I have seen it personally in Tignopal and interior areas. hundreds and hundreds of Myanmar people, they are there. So, in fact, what the Manipuris are telling now, and the civil society, and even the few political leaders also, they are telling NRC is a must before census. But I can well tell you, Karthikeya, both the things can go parallel. We can go ahead for NRC and we can go ahead for census also. But NRC is a must in Manipur, because we have to find out who are the real illegal migrants. Otherwise, what will happen? They see it now. So the ground is quite unstable. Yeah, and as the previous speaker has told about 14,000, 15,000 people, those who are displaced out of 60, they have not returned to their home. So we have to find out. And you see the JFD, the Justice and Deliberation Student Wing, they are also agreeing for NRC before census. So more or less, you find everywhere there is a demand for NRC, and the central government and state government, both they have passed the resolution that NRC is a must in Manipur, and I find there is nothing wrong in their action for asking for it, and they must go ahead. They must go ahead.
Okay. Colonel Sapam, is it possible to do an NRC? I mean, let alone census. Again, violence has taken place. I don't want to go to that entire issue. So much of violence is taking place now between Kukis and Nagas. Houses are being burned.
Karthikeya, good evening. Thank you for having me in your show. Yeah, well, my opinion goes something like this. Manipur is a very small state with a population of just 30 lakhs population, and it is half the population of the districts in the mainland. And, there are 16 districts, and one district is having, with the population of one district is 14,000 only. And some district is having only 40,000, 45,000. My request to the central government and the state government is that both NRC as well as census is also important. Both should be conducted at the same time. The provision is there. It is not that you can't conduct it. The will has to be there. And once and for all, this state is in turmoil since the last 3 years. And because the border, being open, completely open, it's not even porous. I have never said it is porous. It was just managed. But now, as of now, my question to the nation is that a small state like Manipur with a population of 30 lakh population, you can't do census as well as NRC together? Yes, it can be there. The provision is there. NPR can be done. And why any community staying in Manipur should object? It is for the betterment of the people who are staying over here. Let's do it. And let's clear it for once and all. My request, my sincere request is, as Colonel ADG Mishra ji sir has said, many villages have come up. The original, even from the other communities also, they are suffering because of these migrants, because of these illegal immigrants, because of them only everyone is suffering. So once and for all, my humble request to the state government as well as the central government is that both census is also important and NRC is also important. Both should be done, and it can be done. The population is not there. It's not a difficult thing. It can be done. The will has to be there.
No,
this is what I want to
it can be done. How can it be?
See, in a district, for example,
I'll come back to you, Colonel Sapam. How will the people who are how will they move door to door?
Well, you are not required to go to door and door. See, the respective DCs should be given responsibility, and the central government must help and give some manpower from outside also and resources also, and it can be done, and it's all digitized nowadays. Once the census is done, and
you're saying it can be done. You're saying it can be done. Mercy, can it be done?
Well, it can definitely be done, but given the current situation that we are in, we just saw, conflict between two, ethnic communities in 2023, and now we are facing, the current one. No doubt it can be done, but do Manipur have that conducive environment to get this process done? It's a big question. So I would not completely disagree with Colonel Sapam, but at the meantime, I'm worried. How are we supposed to do if we, the people of Manipur, keep on continue fighting with one another, and not, providing that conducive environment to conduct this thing. I would not disagree कि दोनों नहीं हो सकता है, but right now the situation of Manipur first need to heal from these two continuous communal conflict that we have had. After that, I think we may be ready for, whether census or whether NRC, then we may be ready for that. But first, we need to be healed. This situation in Manipur has to be, normalized, not by force, but definitely by bringing, political solution to the aspirations of these three major communities first.
That's a very nice thing to say, Mercy, that things can be done in Manipur. But Mr. Mishra, coming back to this renewed violence, why has that surged? We talk about doing this, doing that, but why is violence surged between
Yes,
migrants?
Kartika, I can well tell you. You see, there are few political parties, of course. Perhaps I will not name them. They may be helping. They may be wanting that all these migrants, those who are there, those who came from Myanmar, they have to remain there because they may be their sources and they may be their helps also. But what I can tell that looking into what has happened in Kamjang area, what is happening in More area, what is happening in Sita, what is happening in Pihang, what is happening in Chapki Karang, I know all these things, what is now happening in those areas. And Kartika, I will tell you now, of course, the NH is open. That's a very good thing that the NH is open. With 320, it is not, as the earlier speaker was telling, it is not only with the forces you can do it. You have to take into consideration with these three parties, particularly the Kukis and Maitis and this, not Bongals, this Nagas, but taking into consideration and taking their leaders with 320 companies of forces, with so many forces, just I'm telling you, Kartikan, with only you require only for five areas, 5 districts.
Lamjathang, how can you join me?
Yeah.
We had some technical problem. Lamjathang, NRC before census possible?
Absolutely, that's possible. You see, census, if you take the demographic profile of Manipur at this point in time, you see, you will not find a single Meitei in More. You will not find a single Meitei in Kampopi, or you will not find a single Meitei in Churachampur. That report shows the true demographic profile of Manipur? No. This data will be, once officially released, will legitimize that there is no Meitei in the hills. And that will be weaponized again for the disunity of Manipur's social fabric, multi-ethnic society. So what is more important at this point in time is modern census and modern NRC. First thing is more important is the deletion of any Kuki tribes. Anybody from anywhere the world can come and get a scheduled tribe category, and then they can become the citizens of India, and then they are going to, deprive the rights of many legal residents. So, Kartikeya, one thing that needs to be understood is the present law and order situation does not permit that census should be conducted at this point in time. Second thing, yes, the people's demand. Everybody talks about illegal immigrants. Everything becomes a status quo now. You see, the Kuki, Zomi, Mar, etc. unity has gone down drastically. Zomi people have come to Imphal. The Mar people have come to Imphal. The Thado people have come to Imphal. Even the Kuki people have come to Imphal using police protection. You see, separation is absolutely impossible. Economic separation is absolutely impossible. And emotional separation is absolutely impossible. In such a scenario, Kartikeya, I don't think for the government of India to consider census or another kind of exercise.
I'm very happy that everyone who I've invited is joining me, but Professor Xavier is joining me, the real fag end of the show. Professor Xavier, am I audible to you? Professor? Am I audible
I
to you,
can
sir?
hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. So you know, NRC before census, is it possible, sir?
Well, maybe after a few months, it may be possible. As of now, the situation is a little better than before.
Yes, very correct.
So I think it is possible. Although with a lot of security forces presence will be necessary, but it is very much possible.
It is very much possible.
51 record and even 1961 record within the government of Manipur are lost. They are not available. So unless the deadline is from 1971, 1951 or 61 may be impossible because the records are not available with the government of Manipur. And as situation improve, I think it is possible with the heavy presence of the security forces. That's my opinion.
Correct.
Okay. Colonel Sapam, is it correct? The records are not available?
As per the previous Chief Minister N. Biren Singh, he said that record is available since 1961. He had very clearly said. But 1951, I'm not very sure, but 61 it is there. And as far as I'm concerned, my personal opinion is 61 is also, I think it is fine. But what happened is census is required to be done. NRC also is required to be done. Both are required to be done. And I think I can see, the central government has to come down. थोड़ा जान तो डालना पड़ेगा यार. You can't just keep on you can't keep waiting. Something has to be done, यार. See, something has to be done. You can't keep on, let them come to this thing. Let them be googie and all. Yeah, it cannot happen that. Yeah, some danda also has to be given. Yeah.
Okay. Balgesh, I think कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा. I think that's the nice way to close the program. कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा.
Yeah. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for in fact having this discussion, especially over a very, very sensitive topic as well. With that, it's a wrap on Point 2. Stay tuned to News 9 for further news and updates.
लास्ट टाइम कश्मीर गई थी ना, वहाँ खाया शहद, पर उसके लिए कश्मीर जाना पड़ेगा. अरे कश्मीर क्यों जाना, कश्मीर ही यहाँ आ गया.
सुंदर वादियों में महकती खुशबू और रंग बिरंगे फूल, इनमें से शहद निकाल कर जमा किया जाता है असली शहद, लायन कश्मीर हनी.
असली शहद, असली स्वाद.
A crisis that has shaken the foundation of our education system and left over 22 lakh students in a state of absolute despair.